Okay, so this is what God has me thinking about, okay? And I'm not really trying to like bitch or anything. It's just what God has me thinking about, okay? And it has to do with a friend that I grew up with, and she spent a lot of time with our family. And financially, I'm not sure, but I don't think that her parents were footing the bill for time that she was with us. I think my family just foot all the bills, because it was like, you know, a lot of spring breaks, a lot of sort of weekend things, eating out. I mean, she just kind of spent a lot of time with our family. Anyway, so she's now the one that's in South Carolina, about ready to go on her pension, okay? So now she was born in South Carolina, and then her family moved here to Portland, and then as soon as she graduated from high school, she zipped right back down to South Carolina, because she knows there you can be a teacher with only a bachelor's degree. So that was always her plan, and she was always Little Miss Go-Getter, okay? But like, here's the thing, okay, is like her family seemed kind of poor to my family. They just did, okay? Now, they didn't seem like poor people, but they seemed kind of poor to my family. So it was always kind of a shock to me when she got to go off to college with all the fixins and all paid for. I had no idea that her parents had that kind of money. I had no idea. But she got to go off to college, completely paid for. They paid for it. They paid for her sorority thing. And from there, you can imagine there's probably lots of help with cars and down payments and all that stuff. Anyway, she's one of my best friends in the world, so I'm not really trying to throw shade. You know, if anybody's going to be a teacher, like, she should be the teacher. I'm not really trying to throw shade. But what God's trying to make me think about is, if we micro this down to a village scenario, here's how it looks. It looks like my family ends up sort of giving her some kind of commercial credits, as if, like, you get some kind of credit for every dollar that's spent on you in commerce. So that ends up being a lot of my family, because her family was frugal, from what I remember, which is fine, right? But they seem, anyway. So that's kind of, so they're saying, like, micro it down, it kind of feels like our family spent a lot of commercial money on her. And then, so then her family saves the money that gets to get her the cushy position. We're not necessarily thinking about the fact that it's going to South Carolina. We're just thinking about, we're still in a village. So that means that her parents get to save all this money, or they just do save all this money. And then they get to put her through college so that she gets the cushy position. And then here she is now, getting ready to go on her pension, and it's kind of like not really sitting well with the rest of this village. It's just not really sitting well with the rest of this village. It's kind of like, and then when they're stealing my business, it's kind of like, now I'm actually paying for her pension. God's like forcing, like, God's like, you have to sort of micro it down. So if they're poaching your building as some kind of public pension fund, then it's like, in your micro reality, then you're directly paying this woman's pension now. And God's telling me that that doesn't really sit right.